Hey guys, we are back. Video 3 of the Healing Yourself series with me, Nicole Sachs, and we are going to be talking today about the science behind TMS. Now, the reason I'm calling it TMS is because TMS is Dr. John Sarno's phrase. It stands for tension myositis syndrome. That is just an overreaching term for the process by which our brain sends signals to our body to have physical conditions as a way to protect us from repressed feelings. Now, the best way for me to really explain the science to you, short of bringing out a whiteboard and doing a whole science lesson, is to refer you to Dr. Sarno's books. The book that spoke to me most clearly was the book The Mind-Body Prescription by Dr. John Sarno. Now, Dr. Sarno began to me as an inspiration when I was 19 and first diagnosed with spondylolisthesis, which is my spinal condition that I have, as a book. When I read the first book I read, which was Healing Back Pain. He had one prior to that called Mind Over Back Pain. And then I read Healing Back Pain when I was very young, and since then, he's written a couple more books. The one I personally like the best is The Mind-Body Prescription. It explains all the science behind what I do and what has both trained me and inspired me by working with him directly. And it's a good way for you to understand what's behind this. Now, some people don't care about the science. They're just like, make me well. And if that's the case, let's just do it. But I want to give people the opportunity to understand more deeply what exactly is happening in their body and why it is possible for emotions to lead to physical problems. So I want to say something about medicine. Most people, when they come through my door, which I usually say crawl through my door, have been to every doctor that specializes in whatever it is that's wrong with them, have had many different treatments, often medications, sometimes surgeries, that have addressed their issue. I really don't ever want to downplay that. If something is wrong with you, get it checked out by a doctor. I am not a medical doctor. I'm a psychotherapist, and I partner with medical doctors, and I've been trained by medical doctors in the parts of this that I needed to understand in order to do the best I could with healing people. Among them, and most importantly, Dr. John Sarno himself. But if something is wrong with you, the first thing you need to do is get it checked out. And then whatever it is that you feel that you need to do in order to be well, as a result of that medical checkup, go ahead and do. I do like to say, in my personal opinion and from my heart, I hope that instead of getting a really invasive surgery or something that would really limit your life, I would love for you to try this work first. But each person has to make their own decision about that. So I want to make sure to say that. Now that I've said that, I want to, and now that I've referred you to Dr. Sarno's book, I want to explain to you one of the ways I like to communicate the science of this. I think over the years I've worked with enough people and had enough questions asked that I like to find creative ways to explain the science of this to people so that they can embrace it for themselves. And one of the best ways I've come up with is the beach ball theory. So here's how it goes. Pretend that you are standing in a pool right about to your waist. Above your waist is just, you're out of the pool, your arms are free, and below your waist is the water. You're standing on the floor of the pool. In between your legs, in this scenario, is a fully inflated beach ball. And you need to hold that beach ball under the water all day while your arms are free to, do your life, your stuff, your things, everything that is involved in your life. Now, you don't know about that beach ball, you don't think about that beach ball, but physically, you need to hold that thing under the water all day. If that beach ball breaks the surface of the water, you think you're gonna die. You're gonna self-destruct, you're gonna explode, you're gonna implode, you're going to have a complete breakdown. Now, you don't know this, but subconsciously, you do. And so you are required to keep that beach ball under the surface, controlled between your knees all day. Now, while it's under there, you have to use your hands that are above the water to do all the tasks of your daily living. Imagine how exhausting this is. No wonder you're always tired. You are required to keep this thing under the water. Now, what really happens when a beach ball that's been held underneath the surface of the water breaks the surface? Well, let's go through it. First, it goes psh for 1 second, and maybe it surprises you. It comes up next to you. You weren't expecting it. You have a reaction to it. But then what does it do? It gently and calmly floats to the corner of the pool where it sits there, bobbing quietly until some kid picks it up and nails someone with it, right? That's what really happens. And that's what really happens when we let our repressed feelings that are beneath the surface of our consciousness come up and be seen. Maybe for 1 second we feel that sting, that pinch, that, ooh, what was that? But if you're properly going through this process and you see that it's not going to end you or kill you or hurt you, it just needs to be heard, then you can calmly see it and then say, okay, go ahead. Imagine the energy this frees up to live your entire life. You are spending so much energy holding these feelings down, and your body needs to keep you safe from this impending doom, your brain rather needs to keep you safe from this impending doom of this beach ball breaking the surface. And so what it does is it creates meaning for you in terms of physical problems. If you have a frozen shoulder that you can barely move and it's getting in the way of everything that you need to do, well, you have a very clear purpose. You have to go to the doctor. You have to tell everybody that you can't make it to whatever obligations. You have to protect yourself. You have action items to take. Your brain thinks this is protecting you. Your brain thinks that these action items around these physical problems, this empathy that you might be able to draw from other people, because we connect often through our pain. So if you have a back problem, if you have a headache syndrome, if you have a fibromyalgia where you can barely move because you're in so much pain, there's a reason for you to connect with people, to ask for help, to feel sympathy, to feel kindness. Whereas you deserve all that kindness anyway, but you're not always willing to ask for it. So there is a purpose that seems to be derived from holding this stuff down. But the truth is, there's freedom for you. There's freedom for you in asking and having that love come to you, and in relieving yourself of the fallacy that holding down this beach ball will create order and safety for you, because that is not true and it is not necessary. So the work that you need to do, which we will right now get into in our next next part of this video series, will serve to, first of all, convince your very crafty brain that this beach ball coming up is not going to end you. And secondly, it will show you safely and kindly and patiently these repressed feelings that you have been holding under the surface. It will prove to you that when they break the surface, they will not end you. They will simply float off to the side of the pool and just be part of your story. Just be part of who you are and who you have been, but kindly and gently not have to rule your life anymore. So that's the science behind it. Like I said, please feel free, and I encourage you to look into Dr. Sarno's books if this is something that you really would like to understand more fully, because I know it really helped me. And if you just say, whatever the science is, I'm cool with it. Let's get busy with healing. I'm good with that too. So tune in for the next installment of this video series, the Healing Yourself series, installment 4, which will be the work, and we will get started on saving your life and stopping all this unnecessary suffering day to day with your pain and your chronic conditions. All right, I look forward to it. I'll see you then.